What is going on, everybody? Back at it again today with another YouTube video. If you haven't already, click that like button, click the subscribe button, and comment down below. After you get done watching this video, comment down your thoughts and opinions on what I'm about to talk about right now. And if you haven't checked out my latest video, my top 15 athletes in Philadelphia right now, go check that out. Come debate. That's what I wanted from that video. Every Thursday I'll be dropping a video like that where I discuss my top 15 this, top 15 that. Next week, I think I'm going to talk about my top 15 Philadelphia athletes of all time. And then, after that, maybe top 15 greatest moments, worst moments, Sixers athletes, Flyers, you know what I'm trying to get at. But in this video, I wanted to touch base on obviously the receiver problem that we have right now. Who's going to be the number one guy? Are we going to stick with Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffery, and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, before the draft? Or are we going to get a guy that can step in and can immediately impact the offense, can immediately impact Carson Wentz's game? And there's also been a rumor and an idea that's been surfacing about none other than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is expected to get a deal to make him one of the highest paid NFL players of all time. Now, I'll get into that after I get done talking about the receiver problem that we have, because I have a lot to say about that. But with the receivers, there has been a rumor going around today, and it's just a rumor, that Sammy Watkins could end up being a Philadelphia Eagle. Now, Sammy Watkins is a very solid player in this league. He can go up, get a ball. He's good in the open field. He can break some tackles. He's fast. He could definitely be a potential number one receiver candidate and a guy that Carson Wentz could easily find and trust in him to catch the ball and come down with the ball. I mean, I would like Sammy Watkins. I would definitely, what we're expected to give up is a third-round pick. I would do that personally. I would definitely do a third-round pick for Sammy Watkins, just because I think if you get a guy like Sammy Watkins, you could probably release Alshon at that point or trade him or whatever. You got to get rid of that contract, though. That's my biggest thing with Alshon Jeffery. I like him. He did a lot for this team. He got us a Super Bowl. He helped us win the Super Bowl anyways. But, I mean, I feel like his time in Philly's done. He's battling through that injury that he suffered last season with his leg. And, if he comes back, I don't think it's going to be until halfway through the season. So are we really going to waste money on a guy that's not even going to play half the season? And by that time, is he even going to be in the lineup? Who are we going to draft? Who's going to be healthy? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do this? Who's going to be on the team by then? Nobody knows. So am I going to trust my faith in a guy like Alshon Jeffery right now? I don't know if I really can. He's a good receiver when healthy, but he's also lost his leg, basically. Like, his speed is gone. He had very little speed before, and now it's completely gone. We need a guy that can go down the field. Wentz has an absolute cannon for an arm. He can reach them, but he hasn't had a guy that can go down the field and catch the football on a consistent basis to where you can trust them to throw it up to them and catch the ball. Deshaun Jackson, you saw what happened with them in the very first game of the season. What did they connect for? 2 touchdowns, 150, 70-something yards like that, and like 8 catches? Players like that, players like a Deshaun Jackson, who I think Sammy Watkins could be kind of like him in a way just because of how fast he is. You have those two streaking down the sideline. That opens up the field for a guy like Zach Ertz, a guy like Dallas Goedert. You can open up the field to get Miles Sanders out of the backfield. Sammy Watkins, I think, would fit perfectly in this deal. There's also been some rumors around DJ Moore. I stated that in my video a couple days ago. DJ Moore's another guy that I would go out and try to get if you can. He's younger than Watkins, and I think it's going to be harder to pry him away from Carolina just because of now. Look at who they have. They have Robbie Anderson. They have Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback. I mean, they have obviously Christian McCaffrey, who's an absolute beast in the backfield. So I think Sammy Watkins is the more, reasonable, the more realistic guy that you could get. I've also heard some rumors about DeMarcus Robinson and the Eagles, going for the league minimum, just signing him to get an extra body, get some depth in that receiving core, because your receivers right now are Alshon, Deshaun, JJ, and Greg Ward, and I can't name you anymore. Aguilar's gone. I mean, who else is there? I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. So if you go and get a guy like Sammy Watkins, it does very good things. I think Greg Ward makes the team, and I think he stays in the slot. I don't think he's bad. I actually think he's a pretty good football player, and especially in the slot, I think he'll do just fine. I mean, you saw his ability to catch the football last year. He didn't really disappoint. He played pretty well last season for what we got out of him, and he was just a practice squad player. So, yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts and opinions on the Sammy Watkins, DJ Moore type of deal. Obviously, I think our first two picks are going to be wide receivers, and then the third round pick, if we still have it, pick 105, it's either going to be a linebacker or an offensive lineman. I would go offensive lineman. I would attack the offense as much as possible, because you could always sign a linebacker that can make a tackle. A guy that can block, though, is a lot different than a guy that can make a tackle. I mean, there's been I just think the offensive line is a lot more important than a linebacker from the Eagles' standpoint, just because of how we don't value the linebacker position that much. Our best linebacker that I can remember has been Jeremiah Trotter. Jeremiah Trotter, I think. Yeah, that's his name. I don't know why I just had a brain fart right there. But he's been the best linebacker to date, that I've seen. Obviously, Chuck Bernard, yeah, I mean, he's the best linebacker of all time, but we do not value the linebacker position. That is what I'm trying to get out. We don't value the linebacker position like other teams do. And I've said that in multiple videos this offseason with the Eagles. And I'll continue to say it now. We don't value them. I don't think we're going to go out and make it a priority to draft. We attack the cornerback position, and now I think our secondary is set. You have Roby Coleman, you have Slay, you have Mills, you have McLeod, you have Maddox, you have LeBlanc, you have Sidney Jones. I mean, I think your secondary is fine, and I think they attack the offense in the draft. Now, to talk about Dak Prescott. If Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys decide to sign Dak Prescott to that long of a deal, to that much money, I would love it. And here's why. I don't think you can go out and give max money to your running back, to your quarterback, and your number one receiver. I understand all three of them are good. Dak's not bad. I'm not saying that he's bad. Zeke is a top 5 running back, and Amari Cooper's a top 10 wide receiver. But Dak Prescott has not shown me anything that special to be paid the highest paid quarterback of all time. He hasn't shown me enough. I'm not a Cowboys fan, obviously. I even have an Eagles tattoo. But I for one would love it. As an Eagles fan, please, Jerry Jones, give him the contract. Give him all the money you want, because it doesn't bother me. Because we have absolutely owned Dak. I mean, when we are a healthy team, we've beaten Dak Prescott. And without Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott has been awful. So if you can shut down Zeke, which we did last season at the link, if you could stop Zeke, Dak Prescott is non-existent. He doesn't do what he's supposed to do as a top tier, as a top paid quarterback like they're trying to make him out to be. He's not going to do it. He's not going to be able to do it if you stop Ezekiel Elliott. And, by the way, Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. I don't want to hear it. I think Carson Wentz is a top 7 quarterback in the NFL right now. There's only certain players that can... Only Patrick Mahomes can do what he does. His arm strength, I mean. Mahomes might be more, athletic, mobile, but I think it's Mahomes and Wentz as the top 2, and obviously Russell Wilson and guys like that. But I think they are the 3 most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. Wentz, Mahomes, and Wilson. That's my opinion on this. I think Wentz is 1,000 times better than Dak. And I'm going to keep to that. I've always thought that, even when, Dak had that very good season when they won like 12-4, 13-3, something like that. Well, they lost. They didn't win the Super Bowl. And I don't think they'll win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott as their quarterback. So, that's it for this video. Again, like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't already checked out my latest video, go check it out. Top 15 best athletes in Philadelphia right now. Leave your opinion below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Dak Prescott getting the deal. Well, possibly getting a deal. And if you guys would want a guy like Sammy Watkins on the team. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I am out. Peace.